We're back on the record in cause number 2023 CR 11452 and 2023 CR 11453, State versus Jesus Prado. All right, it's the court's understanding from the deputy that there was a buzz from the jurors, and they are saying that a verdict has been reached in this cause. Are both parties ready to receive the verdict? All right, everyone, please be seated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the court's understanding that you've reached a verdict in this case. Is that correct? And is your verdict unanimous? All right, if you'll hand the charge to the deputy, please. Thank you. The verdict form reads as follows. And cause number 2023 CR.
The jury is back, and whenever you hear those words, a verdict has been reached, the entire courtroom changes. Months of investigation, hours of testimony, and now everything comes down to a single decision. Let's see how this ends.
11452. It states, we the jury find the defendant Jesus Prado guilty of the offense of aggravated assault against a public servant as charged in the indictment, and cause number 2023 CR 11452, and as instructed in this charge and in accordance with his guilty plea. Would anyone wish to have the jury polled on that point? And cause number 2023 CR 11453, the verdict form reads as follows. We, the jury, find the defendant Jesus Prado guilty of the offense of aggravated assault against a public servant as charged in the indictment, and cause number 2023 CR 11453, and as instructed in this charge and in accordance with his guilty plea. Does anyone wish to have the jury polled on that point? With regards to punishment, the verdict and cause number 2020.
60 years. That's an extraordinary sentence, and remember, this wasn't the judge deciding the punishment. In Texas, juries can determine sentencing in felony cases, meaning 12 citizens just agreed this was the appropriate consequence.
23 CR 11452 reads as follows. We assess this punishment at confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a term of 60 years and no fine. Does anyone wish to have the jury polled? And cause number 2023 CR 11453, the punishment verdict reads as follows. We assess this punishment at confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a term of 60 years with no fine. Does anyone wish to have the jury polled? All right, ladies and gentlemen, the deputy is going to take you back to the jury room, and I'll come back and speak with you briefly. Everyone, please rise for the jurors. All right, everyone, please be seated. Defense, any objection to the court proceeding with sentencing? State any objection.
At this stage, the judge has very little discretion. Once the jury returns a lawful verdict, the court's role is to formally enter that judgment and pronounce the sentence. It's one of the most powerful moments in any criminal trial.
Objection to the court proceeding with sentencing? Then in Mr. Prado, the court is bound to follow the jury's verdict. And in cause number 2023 CR 11452, the jury having found you guilty, it will be noted that you've been found guilty. Punishment in that cause number is to be assessed at 60 years in the prison. There's to be $0 fine. The court will give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrently with 2023 CR 11453, and cause number 2023 CR 11453. The court will follow the jury's verdict, find you guilty, sentence you to 60 years in the prison. There's a $0 fine, give you credit for any time.
Did you notice the phrase affirmative finding of a deadly weapon? That's more than legal terminology. It can significantly affect parole eligibility and how much of the sentence must be served before release becomes possible.
Served. This will run concurrently with 2023 CR 11452, and in each cause there's a affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing from either side? All right, Mr. Prado, on each of the cause numbers, did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign both forms in each cause number? All right, because this is a trial on punishment to a jury, and even if it wasn't to a jury, if it were to the court, if there were motions that were filed, you would have a right to appeal. And in this case, you have a right to appeal. All right, because these are felony.
The legal process may be ending, but the human side of the courtroom is just beginning. Some judges end sentencing with only formalities. Others take a moment to remind defendants that even after a devastating sentence, life isn't completely over.
Convictions. You're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? Is there any question or any thing else with regards to sentencing before the court closes the record? All right, Cindy, you can close the record. Is there any victim impact? All right. All right, with that being said, Mr. Prado, I know 60 years is a lot, but you still have your life. I always try to find something to say to people who are sentenced so that they can have some sort of hope. You're still alive, right? And you can live and you can learn from this and you'll still be able to see your family and have your family visit you. All right. Good luck.